Good afternoon. Hey, folks, what's up? This is Brian Kuzsmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in windy Lauderdale by the Sea. Windy, yet still beautiful, as I always say. Got the live Windjammer cam up here. So if you're ever in South Florida, make sure you visit that hotel because I use their camera a lot in my videos, and why not? But I don't think I got any discount codes for you. Look at the little waves out there. It makes me want to go surfing, but not good enough yet. Well, let's get into spot prices. Absolutely crazy. I haven't produced a video in probably a week now, or maybe even a little more than that. I think I did a video recently with Chris Marcus from Arcadia Economics on their YouTube channel. Check that out. It's pretty cool. Always enjoy talking to Chris. But let's get into kind of what we're going to talk about. First, let's look at spot prices. One of the patterns that you're going to see here, and I can show it to you clearly, is that the world spot prices, obviously, we're going to use that right now, on Friday, closed $4,251 on gold. Here's a $74 range on the world prices, okay? World prices can also be used to kind of say, aftermarkets too, so when New York is closed in the evening, that are what they call the world spot prices. And in the mornings or in the afternoon when New York closes, late afternoon in the United States, that would be also world spot prices. And as you can see here, on Friday's close, world spot market, 42.51, on silver at 52, and platinum at 1609. Platinum took a really good hit. Probably, I think 1700 is a good indication where platinum is going to go, maybe beyond. It's tough to say where the other metals go. I'm sure platinum is going to follow. And it looks like palladium as well. Wow, palladium took even a bigger hit. Wow, pretty interesting there. I would certainly say if you're looking at these two metals, you'd have to entertain the idea of buying these dips, that's for sure, if you still can. Let's see what happens on tonight. When the markets open up, and tomorrow when you can actually trade on those markets in the United States. Well, 42, again, look at these ranges here. Pretty crazy closes on Friday. But I want to show you something here, which is the New York spot price. So the New York spot price would have been Friday. And I think if I'm correct, we should know this, but I think the spot prices in New York close, 2 or 3 p.m. Eastern time or something like that off the top of my head. I think they open at 9:30 and then close around 2 or 3. I should know this, but I don't pay much attention because, again, it's revolving when we're looking at spot prices 24 hours a day. But look at this. It closed on Friday in New York, $4,189.90 at 2 or 3 p.m., or whatever, if I'm wrong, whatever time it was in the afternoon on Friday. And again, that's when the world spot prices, the aftermarkets they call them, are reopened again before they close for the end of the day. And you'll see that it was up quite a bit, not much, but still. In the aftermarkets, in the world markets after New York closed, it went up. So that tells me, kind of, maybe I'm wrong, that tonight we may see an up market as well as tomorrow. Let's just see. That's just a guess. I'm pretty lucky with my guess. Blessed, fortunate, whatever you want to call it, depending on how you view life. Lucky. I am pretty lucky, blessed, whatever you want to call it. And the same thing with silver. Take a look at that, 49.86. That you see $52 here in the world spot prices. So what that says is the New York Friday close, was around much lower, actually, by $2. After New York closed and the world markets opened, it shot up $2. Platinum, not so much. I'll take a look at that. Very little difference between New York close on platinum and the world market close on platinum, as well as palladium, a little bit bigger spread there. But palladium, that's major. $157 for. That's like 10%, almost 9%, 8, whatever it is. That's a huge move. Again, I guess if you've been watching those metals, you're probably thinking, wow, if you didn't buy on Friday, hopefully you can buy on Monday somewhere. Not my specialty on palladium and platinum. What did the other markets do, or what are they doing? Let's just take a look. Dow Jones, kind of everything in the green currently, except for gold, down $78 on the close. But let's take a look at futures here. And gold and silver, again, down a little bit. Markets haven't opened on those yet across the board. So there, you get the kind of effect of what's happening here. Everything, all the other assets are in the green, and just gold and silver are in the red. Even Bitcoin, which really got clobbered here a little while ago, I don't know if it's been clobbered, though. That's probably overstating it a bit. Um, and I'm going to talk about Bitcoin here in a little bit too. So stay tuned with that. You're going to be stay tuned. We have no advertising break. Stay tuned, but keep with me, and I'll talk about a little bit something about Bitcoins that might surprise you. My opinion on that, and well, let's just get out of there. That's kind of we're here to talk about something that. I've been wanting to talk about. It's just the facts, ma'am. and there, and I'm talking about refining. There has been a lot of discussion about refineries, refining, and if you haven't really followed, give me 1 second here. Hmm. It's not a rumor. The truth is that a lot of refiners, and refiners can mean many different things. And I'm going to explain this because a lot of people don't understand that. Okay. And I'm going to give you just the facts here from what I know. All right. I'm not going to give you any speculate. Well, if I give you speculation, I'll let you know, or I'll do my best to let you know that's speculation on my part. But when it comes to refiners, it's something that no one is talking about. Very few people are talking about it. Even people that are in the business, in the wholesale, the retail, even people that are in the small refinery business are not talking about this. I find it a bit strange. I'm going to bring the facts up to you here. And let me, for some of you, again, are not following a story, you're not on social media, so you're not really following this story, is refiners have stopped buying certain types of silver. And that's happened recently, probably within the last month or so, where a lot of the refiners, and again, refiners, there's many different types of refiners, and that's what I want to get into. The refiners have said, okay, there's certain products that we're not buying right now. We're absolutely not buying. And then there's other refiners that say we're not taking any more new product in. And then there's some refiners just saying we're not taking any more new silver customers in. Folks, this does not apply to gold. This only applies to silver. So for the rest of this conversation right here, I'm going to talk about silver refining, not gold refining, platinum, or anything else. This is about silver refining, all right? So the whole point behind this is that this disruption in being able to resell scrap silver is going to have a trickle down effect to a lot of smaller dealers, a lot of on the street buyers of silver. And the effect, I want to get into this before I forget about telling you this, the effect of freezing up and not being able to sell scrap silver to a refiner is that means less silver in the marketplace. That means that silver is probably going to go higher as a result of that. And there's another reason silver is going higher and has been going higher. And I'm going to tell you that too. And I think one of the primary reasons that we're seeing silver really take off. Remember, and again, I'm going to give you just the facts that I can. If I'm wrong in any way, and these things that I'm telling you are facts, please put it in the comment section. I'm the first guy to apologize or say I've been wrong on something like that. But let me give you the facts the best that I know them. Okay, just the facts, ma'am, as Joe Friday, just as Joe Friday would say, I think. All right. The reason that a lot of the refiners that you're seeing out first, let me explain that there's refiners across the United States. There's lots of refiners. And you can kind of scale them down to a couple different categories. You got your really large refiners. You got your small refiners, obviously. You've got your artisanal refiners. You've got your refiners that deal in different types of products. So when I say artisanal refiners, I don't mean and there are guys that are in the garages pouring small struck bars or making artistic artisanal type bars. But when I say artisanal, maybe that's not the right word, but producers of bars that produce bars for retail sale. Scottsdale being one of those, I think, producing really beautiful bars. All right. But I think Scottsdale's, and I could be wrong, this I could be wrong on. Scottsdale produces a lot of retail friendly bar products. Okay. That would be more of an artisanal to me or retail investment demand. But there's only a few companies in the United States that, and by the way, I have a lot of respect for Scottsdale. And actually, I got some information from Josh Philip Fair. I think he's the one of the main guys at Scottsdale that we're going to get into a second. But then you've got your major refiners. and this doesn't say that all the other refiners aren't major, but when I say major refiners, these are the refiners that really have huge operations, are able to process a lot of silver. Now, again, we're not talking about gold, folks, all right? Able to process large amounts of silver. And when you talk about large silver refiners in the United States, you have to see who produces the most silver in the U.S. The most busiest refiners in the United States. There's only two of them, and this came to much surprise to me. And actually, again, Josh Phillip, I got to thank him for kind of reminding me of this, or telling me about this. And this is my comment. Some of you guys have probably gotten there before I have. I'm going to kind of blow that up for you a little bit. But I was kind of shocked to find out, semi-shocked to find out that Metalor and Asahi are the only two. And that was confirmed by Josh, if he's correct, and I believe he is. He knows that industry pretty good. Um, but it's been confirmed to me that there are only two companies in the United States, both of them Japanese, by the way, Metalor and Asahi, that make certifiable LBMA and certifiable COMEX and industrial use 1,000-ounce bars. Totally different product than what Scottsdale does and what a lot of people do, for the retail wholesale industry. And Scottsdale is definitely a whale in the retail wholesale, or again, wholesale retail coin and bar or bar market, definitely. But Metalor and Asahi have a whole different business model. They make 1,000-ounce bars that go to industry that says, hey, we need to have this specific, really crazy standard for these bars for production of electronic equipment that's very sensitive to any issues, and also for investment people, ETFs and such, COMEX, LBMA. Again, that's why they call them LBMA rated, COMEX rated bars. Excuse me. So there's only two companies out there, folks. And I know a lot of you saying, wow, that's kind of interesting. Two companies that produce. Now, when I'm talking about the production of silver, the retail and wholesale production of coins and bars is very, very small compared to the production of industrial LBMA, COMEX, and industrial use bars. Big, big, big difference there, folks. Huge difference, okay? And so we've only got two companies out there that have been producing or that could take in and produce 1,000-ounce bars in the United States. Two, that's it. I was surprised, and again, I got to thank Josh a lot for that information. It kind of confirmed, as you can see up here, I said, I know Metalor and Asahi, guess what I picked? I nailed the only two, are customers because I'm a customer, all right? And they're great companies, by the way. Metalor and Asahi are wonderful companies. I'm actually still getting in the final process of being a customer of Asahi, but no wonder the major bottleneck I've been talking about the last 2 years, just two of them, all right? Here, let me read this. Metalor suspended silver deliveries for now. Asahi is taking no new customers and is behind in silver production. Because remember, Metalor last January basically said, hey, listen, and after, basically in springtime said, we're not taking any more new silver in. We've got to clear out what we've got. We're behind for whatever issues that may be. They were behind, and they haven't started their silver production yet. Metalor still, I don't know if they're loaded up or if they're still selling 1,000-ounce bars from being so backed up, but Metalor is not taking any new silver since springtime. From people that I'm aware of. Maybe they're just taking it from miners and we don't know this, but or maybe just some large whales. Who knows? But so Metalor hasn't been buying, and Asahi has picked up a lot of that slack. And Asahi is another huge company, probably does more silver than Metalor. Metalor does a lot of gold too, but probably does more than silver than Metalor. Maybe, I don't know. But Asahi has picked up that slack, and Asahi is getting way behind too. So is there any wonder that they're, with the side behind on taking orders? And again, when a refinery gets really far behind from scrap, whatever it may be, the fact that one of the other companies that they were competing with in a friendly way, I'm sure, is closed, I mean, they're going to get that extra business. So, I mean, they're way backed up. And, it doesn't just affect the fact that they got barrels and barrels and barrels of silver in the back room waiting to get melted and are in line, they take your ticket kind of deal. But the amount of money that's frozen up in those barrels, because Asahi is no longer, I don't believe, they're not going to lock you in at this price because they've got so much of it. They can't process it fast enough. And who's going to be, so there are really, and hedging is another big issue. There's some really major, major issues going out there in the refining world. And that is a bottleneck of extreme proportions. And again, no one is talking about this bottleneck. And if United States is dependent, and industry and investment is dependent on these 1,000-ounce certified LBMA COMEX industrial rated bars, and now there's a huge bottleneck, and the company that's producing them is probably working 2 shifts in a row, 3 shifts in a row, and they're still way behind. That tells me, and here, I'm going to give you a little hint here, folks. This ain't going to clear up until the new year, at least. It could go on even further. Until Metalor comes back online in force, until another major silver refiner comes into the United States and picks up the slack, it ain't backing off. As of right now, it ain't backing off, especially with one down and only one operating. It's not backing down. And again, the implications and the impacts of this, it just hasn't really been discussed with any real seriousness in the entire industry. All I've been hearing is, oh, the refiners aren't buying. Oh, my refiner's not taking my 90 from me, 90%, or my refiner's discounting this heavily, or he said he's just not buying this product. He's only buying 999. Which brings me to another subject. I'm going to rabbit hole down, and I'll get back to this right here, is that the reason that you're seeing scrap sterling and 90% and other stuff that's less than 90% being rejected is because right now, the only thing selling is not, scrap is not selling. You can't sell scrap unless you have someone that's going to buy it from you on the retail end of it. So all these retailers and major wholesalers of coins and bars and bullion have all the scrap that they can't send to the refiner. They can't get paid for right away, and they have to find a secondary buyer for it. And trust me, Americans haven't stepped in. It's not been a FOMO moment for Americans at all. All right. Americans have been very passive about this, and there's lots of reasons we discussed about that, whether it's a result of, not no media discussing it, which is true, whether it's a result of Americans are broke, which is probably somewhat true to some degree, which is a result of Americans don't really invest anymore. They're passive investors. They let someone else do all that for them. Are you in silver? Hey, bud, are you? Well, maybe, maybe my fund might be in silver. I don't know. But anyways, all those bars, and the refiners are saying, okay, we're still taking 999 silver bars and this type of product and that. You know why they're taking it? Because there's still wholesalers out there willing to bid like 5% behind melt to buy this stuff, or 3% behind. There's still wholesalers buying Silver Eagles because that market's picking up. By the way, we talked about that 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, that demand is picking up because Silver Eagles are the canary in a coal mine. Again, past video, I'm not going to go there right now. So the refiners that are saying we're not buying scrap, we're just buying, 999 bars, kilos, anything 999. The reason they're doing that is because, first off, they can't buy any scrap because they can't get it melted. The pipeline is stuffed full. The pipeline can't take anymore. The pipeline is backed up, and so the backed up is just like storage tanks. You know what wholesale and retail bullion people are right now? Storage tanks for for a lot of different types of silver. So just giant storage tanks. The pipeline stuffed, folks. So and again, when you hear the refiner, and it's not Metalor or Asahi, the two majors out there saying this, when you hear the refiner saying, we'll only take 999 bars, that's only because they're reselling it to the retail coin and bar market. They can't resell 90 right now to the coin and bar market. Maybe too much of it. They can't sell sterling scrap to the retail coin and bar market. I guess they could, but it wouldn't be doing you a justice. So that's the reason right there, folks. And again, I'm not going to beat this a dead horse, but the industry, talking head industry, YouTube talking head industry on silver has completely kind of ignored this to some degree. And I don't think people realize, you know, you can have all the oil, and I've said this many times, you can have all the oil, silver, whether it's in scrap form, whether it's in mining form, whether it's in whatever form it is. You can have all the silver in the world, but it's just like oil. You can have all the crude oil and all the, really crude oil in the world in storage tanks, in dealer storage tanks. But if you can't process it into gasoline, it doesn't do you much good, into the products that you need. And that's exactly what we're seeing with silver right now. It can't be processed fast enough into the form it's needed in, which is 1,000-ounce industry and investment rated bars. And all the other refiners, the smaller I shouldn't call them smaller, refiners that do something different. We're talking about two companies in the United States that can do it at all, folks. One is down. Again, repetitive there, but I just wanted to hone that fact in before I kind of left this issue right here. There is, by the way, a couple gold certified. My understanding in the United States when it comes to gold, there is another company here I didn't discuss, which is UPM, United Precious Metals. United Precious Metals does produce, as does Metalor still. Metalor still producing certifiable gold bars, as does Asahi, still producing certifiable Asahi gold bars, and United Precious Metals does as well. Again, found that out from Josh. Appreciate that, Josh. And which, is interesting because United Precious Metals does not produce certifiable silver bars. And I wonder if they're just not geared up for it, or they just don't want to go through the hassle that it takes to do that or something like that. But again, bottleneck, folks, there's your bottlenecks right there. There's your reason that silver might have a huge effect on price, in my opinion, at least a little, wouldn't you think, out there, some of you guys, experts out there listening to me? The reason most, let me just kind of see some comments that I made out here that are relevant and or just going to be repetitive. The reason most refiners resell, yeah, that's kind of the reason most refiners are closed is because even they resell to bigger refiners who produce LBMA certified bars. So here, let me go backwards here, and and Asahi and these refiners, again, it's kind of just what I've been telling you about. That's what the deal is. That's why your smaller, again, that's not a bad term to use. Smaller refiners or your different refiners are so backed up right now. I wrote, and again, I've been talking about this since last January. It's been really very little uptake on this. And again, to me, the big news is finding out from Josh that there was only two of these companies out there. Now there's only one. I was surprised. I'm amazed that Asahi, what an amazing company Asahi, just to be able to keep up with what they're doing. But the real question is, and in my understanding is that Metalor will not be up and running again here in silver purchasing probably until the new year, and Asahi is going to be backed up for at least until the new year, I would imagine. Again, these are great companies. They're just so overwhelmed, and there's no new companies in there the uptake. They're just not there. So this is going to continue for a while here, and the real drain again is on the industries that need it most. Retail, not retail, but investment demand for COMEX, LBMA, and industry. They need it more than the retail folks do. And they're seeing the backup here in the U.S. So again, what effect does that have on pricing? I sure like to hear some guys out there like Rick Rule and some other guys out there, Eric and VBL and Keith Weiner and a bunch of other guys. I'd like to hear a bunch of opinions out there. Metalor is not accepting. Okay, I think that's really pretty much it. Metalor is suspended. Okay, all right. Just going to see if there's anything I posted out here on X that. Wow, this goes back March 12th. Here, look at some of the things I said earlier on. March 12th, Metalor rep says 16 weeks out, March 12th. All right, before lots were completed, they weren't even taking lots at this point. And let me see if I can, I don't want to say I've been telling everyone, but man, if you go back in my message, you can see that I've been talking about this for quite some time, about probably a year now. All right, that's not a told you so. I'm just saying I think some people really should start paying more attention to this right here. Facts that some poor old country coin dealer living in the big city Just pointing out to them. All right. All right, that's about it with that, folks. And, I told you I wanted to talk about Bitcoin as well because, hang on one second, I'm going to tell you exactly why from, and let's see, my most recent post. Again, if you're not on social media, you're probably not seeing this at all. Let me take a quick sip here. There's always been this rivalry between Bitcoin and gold and silver. And it's really a terrible, undeserved rivalry, in my opinion, for both communities. All right. So let me kind of, I've made some observations, and I'd like to also kind of reiterate those here because remember what you're saying. Why not Mexico? Why don't we go after the Mexico cartels first? Because Mexico has no oil. Yeah. By the way, if you like chatting and stuff like that, you can catch me here on X. I mean, I'm not on Facebook because yeah, they they jerked me during the 2019 virus and that whole scene and elections and stuff like that. But incredible amount of uh, Bitcoin bullshitters out there on X lately, making claims about selling gold and buying Bitcoin. While it may not be an awful trade, we will soon find out 99% of these people posting are lying. They never own gold or silver. They're just fear and panic mode. And desperate people do desperate things. For what it's worth, these type of people exist in every investment community, gold community as well, silver community as well, not just Bitcoin. Small amounts of them, however, they make big noise. And that's kind of what we saw this last week when gold has been making big moves. And then we saw Bitcoin kind of, really go from 120 down to 102. I mean, huge drop, and then kind of back up a little again. And all of a sudden now gold up, we're seeing a lot of, oh, I sold all my gold. I mean, tons, almost like it's like bots out there doing it. But I think it's just a narrative that gets, gains momentum amongst people that are in fear and panic, and it happens in every community. But, most people that are saying they're sold their gold and silver to buy Bitcoin, they're full of shit. There's a small amount of people that roll that stuff around like that, but most of them are full of it. And I'm sure the opposite exists. Most people that say, oh, I sold all my Bitcoin just to buy gold and silver. I'm sure there's a certain amount of that as well. So there's no doubt in my mind, but I wanted to bring that up. And there's some of I put some cool stuff out here, folks. I think you might enjoy, hopefully, but I'd like to share some stuff out here. Let me see. Where is that response that I had? Um, hmm, hmm. Where is that? Just expert, blah, 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 overgraded products. Oh, yeah, I'm talking about everything. Boy, I can really digress out here. Let's see here. Ex-hater. Yeah, I'm an ex-hater of Bitcoin. I actually think that, here, I kind of posted this out here because I think this is important to say when it comes to Bitcoin. My opinion, and this is my opinion, folks, and you can let me know what you think in the comment section. Apples and oranges. Just because a coin is certified does not make it rare. Oh, hold on. I'm talking about rare coins there, boy. I got the completely wrong post here. I'm talking about Bitcoin, Brian, not rare coins there. Okay. Well, anyways, let me just see if I kind of put it in here in my comments. No, I did not. Sorry, we'll find it. But, what I was trying to say out here is with this Bitcoin community and fight that we've seen gone on for a long time, we've, between the Bitcoin community and the gold community and the gold bugs and silver bugs and Bitcoin, I mean, it goes back and forth. It's just not one side. Peter Schiff is like the antichrist of Bitcoin there. But I'll tell you the interesting point about this is all the Bitcoin community loves them, even though they hate them, all right? Because every industry needs a bad guy, and Peter Schiff is their bad guy. I'm sure Peter Schiff gets paid to come to Bitcoin conferences and be that guy, every comic book. And this is kind of what the new age is all about, like comic book heroes and meme coins and doggies, doges, and, so, Peter Schiff is the a villain of Bitcoin, right? But when you go really deeper, you got to ask yourself, well, why? What's the division here? What's the division between Bitcoin and again, they're apples and oranges. They're not even the same product, completely different products. There's no reason for either community to be upset with each other except when they start to compete. And again, that's like apples and oranges competing. It just doesn't work, But on the other hand, too, I started to think, we know why gold's been around, silver's been around for 5,000 years. Well, we still don't really understand the real engine behind Bitcoin and even who made it, okay, and why. But the division between the two communities is completely bullshit. It's bullshit because, again, apples and oranges. You can't compare these two communities. But what I wanted to point out is what is really happening is division. These two communities are divided, and that's a lot. You see a lot of divide in the United States, whether it's politics, whether it's Bitcoin and gold, whatever it is. And you know what divide means? It means divide and conquer. All right. So if you see large divisions out here, whether it's political, whether it's economic, whether it's gold against Bitcoin, that's division. And that's usually created by specific small groups of people that profit from that. So all I can tell you is that this division between these two different communities, there's someone profiting somewhere, somehow from this, because again, the comparison, apples and oranges, and there's no reason for division whatsoever. All right, that's just my opinion. I'm going to stick with it. And that's really about it, folks. I hope I've helped you out a little bit here. And of course, I'm going to go into last week's video. I'll see if I can answer a few questions because I like to do that. And by the way, I'm Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. And if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum in any shape or form or anything like that, and you live in South Florida, I'm the place to go to. Very competitive. I'll be APMEX, SD, and JM Bullion on their prices, but it's pretty easy for me to do. If you don't live in South Florida, unfortunately, I can only do large deals out of state, out of my area by wire. But larger deals I can do pretty easily, the old traditional style. But smaller orders, folks, just try to, before you go online, try to find a good local store because, again, you're going to have to sell this stuff back someday. So, you're going to need to develop good relationships nearby. So if you don't have a good local store nearby, take a ride to another county, a little bit further if you have to. But I highly recommend you do that before you buy stuff online. Again, developing a good relationship is a good idea. All right. Last week's video is what was the title? Oh my gosh. He forgot to put the title in here. Hang on, let me just take a look. I'll go backwards. One, the Great Silver Shortage of 2025. And folks, oops, sorry about that. What I was really keying in on is a lot of these points I made today, plus a bunch of other points, about London and all this other stuff and how crazy things are. The price is going up $2 or $3 at a time. But anyways, let me kind of answer some questions here. Sort by newest, of course. I like to do it that way. Then, of course, I always go to the bottom. Start by newest, and they go to the bottom. Thank you, Rory. Appreciate that. Mark Poplin, thank you for that compliment. Brian's my local coin store, and they're awesome. You're awesome. All you guys are awesome. Thank you. It could take at least 5 years for a substantial amount of silver mine to come online. This is actually interesting a comment here. Wall Street for Main Street. A new silver mine to come online. Two of the largest silver mines in Latin America, Escobal and La Navida, are not likely to restart anytime soon. Chile, Mexico, and Peru have been permanent silver supply downtrends for many reasons for at least 7 years. And folks, if this kind of plays into my point what I've been making about refiners and lack of silver available for LBMA, who's been the big fiasco going on there. Wow. This really just exasperates everything, man. Pretty good point there. Thank you very much. And appreciate that, folks. Crazy indeed, Brian. Hold your stack. Can't argue with that. Michael, Marcus, it really is always a pleasure to see you posted in Gen X. Thumbs up to you as well. Calm before the storm. Exactly, Christina. Father Duck says, most of the dealers out there are not being honest. Oh, I like these ones, really. I do. These are juicy comments right here. Give me one sec. We, the public, do not stack these metals to make the stores rich. Not true, sir. I mean, there are people out there getting rich and stuff. Not rich. If you're in a store, you're not getting rich. So we just happen to do well, all right? We do, and we do it right, and we do it honest. But we stack to better our financial well-being as well. I know we all have to make dollars, but the dealer charge spot plus high premiums, and then when the customer comes back to sell, the dealer's want to fleece a percentage back at spot. Well, folks, listen, this is something that I've noticed in my industry for quite some time, and we are very explicit in our store. Whenever we're selling product to a customer, we are the first people to say, listen, buy the least expensive premium you can for a industry recognizable product, because when you go to sell, forget about your premium. It's gone. It'll be sub. You'll be standing, you Silver Eagle guys, if you hit the right market timing and you're at the top and you're all selling at once, if you can find a buyer that didn't say we stopped buying because we had no refiners, you're going to be getting, and that's a good point as well. you're going to be standing next to the guy with the ugliest ass silver bar you ever see and getting the same price per ounce. All right, that's been my whole point behind this. Guys, don't buy high premium shit. Buy the lowest premium stuff you can. And you may not have followed that advice, Father Duck, and that's kind of the reason. But yeah, the spreads are big, and I'm kind of the whole thing about refining we're talking about right now is a good explanation on why these premiums are so wide. And he says, I know about the gray sheet and the control narrative, the premiums. Gray sheet has nothing to do, by the way, with gold and silver bullion prices. Zero, zip, nothing to do with it at all. Not even the premiums. Premiums are made by large bullion dealers, large wholesalers. Who have to store the product and who have to make these spreads sometimes wide because, they can't sell it too cheap. On the other hand, they don't need more of it. They're overstocked. So you see where I'm going with that? They're not all greedy. Every store and dealer fleeced us during the COVID with a $20 overspot per eagle. No, I think anybody that did not clearly explain to their customers that you're stupid for buying this without saying you're stupid, but then the nicest way saying this is the worst way to buy silver, my friend. And we did that to every customer. And 99% of them didn't buy. Some people just don't listen. But no, the buyers fleece themselves by not being educated and buying overpriced shit or great product, but buying overpriced stuff. And I don't want to throw anybody under the table. Again, I'm not mentioned here, and I do appreciate that. I really do, Father Duck. Maybe you have come in my place and you notice that we do tell people. Again, maybe that's why I'm not mentioned here, but we do tell everyone, please buy the least expensive. Don't ever expect to get your premium back. And I want everyone to realize that. Don't ever expect to get your premium back on your stuff. Just don't do it, all right? Please. And when you buy your stuff, keep that in mind. Buy a lesser expensive product. Who cares what it looks like? You're not going to get your premium back if you're selling into the right market. And now when the Cobra stackers are about to break even, you all come up with, and I can understand this anger and this, you're not in the industry, Father Duck, and that's not your fault. You know what I mean? Someone should have explained this to you up front. And again, I feel very comfortable that my company does this all the time. And I've been doing it on videos for years. I mean, search my videos on YouTube and search the term Silver Eagle, and you will see multiple times I've trashed Silver Eagles. And I've had people call me and just, you're an idiot. Oh, silver's the best. Silver Eagle's the best. Don't, because they bought Silver Eagles. Nobody wants to hear that after they bought them. All right. But killing the messenger. But I think that's the issue, folks. I do not recommend buying graded coins or any proof coins. 100% agree with you, Father Duck. You're 100% right there, because again, there's no such thing as part bullion, part collectible. It just doesn't exist. It's like part race car, part cab. They don't exist. All right. Yeah. In fact, 3% back of spot is pretty darn good on some product right now, especially in silver. But anyways, I can't fault Father Duck for that feeling and that comment right there, especially not having the knowledge and not being told what to buy. But it's very common, and it's very common out there, whether it's gold and silver, or whether it's water filters, or whether it's penny stocks or memes, whatever. Right, very common. And I'm sorry about that, Father Duck. I wish someone explained that to you well. Oh, there you go, Brian. Thank you for a great show and great advice. Nice to hear. Gosh darn it. There we go. Father Duck, yeah, I 100% get what you're saying there. And I guess you have been here, and I guess we have saved you from buying some of this stuff, right? But there's a lot of people out there that feel like this, and they they haven't been educated on this stuff, all right? And I feel for them. I really do. I don't like go after to attack people when I read stuff like this. This is why I said this kind of stuff is really juicy to me, because I get into, what did I say back over here? I can get into this part right here. Hang on a second here. Just the facts, ma'am. Joe Friday. Okay. Thank you, Father Duck. Real pleasure to see that comment. I know some people, some content people will go, freak out when they see that, especially if they're selling precious metals, but not me. Cool comment. Thank you, Father Duck. Silver Liner, always a pleasure to hear from you, my friend. I hope you're doing well. We all knew it was going to hit $50, wasn't going to stop. That's why I didn't kill you guys with videos every day. It's going to be $50, $50. We knew this long ago. All right. You didn't hear that. I said truck. This is a time of year mints shut down to retool for next year's design. Yep, you're right. You're talking about the sovereign mints like Silver Eagles and the Maples and stuff like that. Thanks, Jeff Keller. Appreciate that. John Davis says, nice to see you on Arcadia. And I'd like to thank Chris from Arcadia Economics for hosting me on that. We had some great, I had a great time with him. I always have a great time doing co-ops with other guys, content providers, you know. Looking forward to do something with Sal from Salvate Metals, or Salvation Metal or Salvate Metals. Really looking forward to that. My buddy just hadn't been able to put it together yet, the guy that puts my videos together. But we will make that happen as well. You make a good point, Brian. Some people say silver prices crash when it falls by a dollar, but of course it's still $50. Yeah, exactly, John. I wonder if industrial users start bidding these up as they hear they can't get thousands. Yeah, well, that's the problem. I don't know if industrial users can use non-certified product that doesn't come directly from these big refiners that I'm talking about, because electronic industrial people can't afford to have something tainted. Can you imagine the recall, on whatever it may be, cars or whatever it is, because there was tainted silver? No, I don't think so. They're going to be very specific about where they get their silver from. John says 50 is good, but I don't think it's significant until it hits 100. You hear the clapping noises there, John? Can't argue with there. Thanks for watching again. Perfect Storm Brewing. Yes, you are right, D-Worm. Lucky Motorcycles. Brian, what's in your opinion will be the FOMO prices cause and level result in prices and fallback? Interesting. FOMO prices. Well, I think FOMO prices could definitely send it into the triple digit area, well over the 100 mark area. And I think FOMO, inflation adjusted for 1980 would have to be $200. So, and FOMO is what happened in 1980. So if we get a FOMO moment that bigger in or greater than 1980, and given the fact that we have a lot less silver today than we did, it could definitely easily break that $195, $200 mark. Again, that's inflation adjusted according to the CPI. It's probably even higher than that if it's, that's the official rate, but it's probably much higher than that. Max Stack says no shortage in Central Florida. Most people are selling silver is being sold under spot. There's so much excess silver it has to be shipped to melt daily. When a true shortage occurs, premiums will be high. Mac, you got it pretty much right there. Here's something that again people aren't talking about that I have noticed. When you say that there's no shortage here or that there's a lot of people selling or buying, it's regional sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's regional. It has to do, like, I'm in a very wealthy area. So, we don't see capitulation with stackers as much. We do see people capitulating because they have to pay bills, the working class, the blue collar guys, the middle class, and has to pay for a car for their daughter. We do see them capitulating on silver, and they always say, oh, I don't want to sell. But we don't see that capitulation here that's insinuated in a lot of YouTube videos that you see and posts that you see out there. And when we do, again, it's regretted capitulation. The only other capitulation we're seeing is just people getting wind that prices are much higher, so they are bringing in their sterling flatware. They are bringing in the stuff they inherited from their uncle, the coin collection, the silver bar. They have no interest in collecting it. And again, these are passive investors that have their home and their money someplace else, so they don't care about gold and silver. That's probably what you're seeing. You're seeing the middle class in some of these areas selling, and you're also seeing people that are kind of getting wind that gold and silver prices are up. And again, they're clueless when it comes to gold and silver, which is 99% of Americans are clueless. All right. Thanks, Max Stack. Multiple piles of stuff at my LCS. Again, piles. That's good. It is. Here, let me see if I commented. Yeah, for now. That's true, man. Keep that in mind. Loft of this land and load up while you can, my friend. Stack for Life says, well, this fake shortage will give the greedy dealer another chance. Yeah. Juicy comment there. Well, I didn't even have to say anything. This person says short it then, fooling his money. And that's a great comment. And guess what? He fooled me even. You big joker, you Stack for Life. You see, I didn't know you were joking there. I looked for, and I should have known joke because I know your name. I've seen you before. Got me too there, brother. It's, yeah, I like some different places for spot as well, but we do pay for our prices from, as you can see, the ones we list up front here. Being the refiners, the choke point in the supply chain, I cheat. Ooh, I like that you see that, Chris. And Chris, you're a very astute a follower of mine for many, watcher, I should say, or listener of mine for many, many years now. Thank you, Christopher. Hope everything's well with you. I see value in 90%. Yeah, because 90% is really the cheapest thing out there. And once the refiners kind of catch up, or more refiners come online, or there's more competition, then you'll start to see that stuff probably was indeed a real bargain, and that's what probably a lot of guys that are still buying 90% at 5% behind melt are looking at. Hey, listen, I can discount this heavily, but there's a 5% hedge here for me. But anyway, yeah, good point there, Christopher. I appreciate that. The pullbacks in silver have been shallow and very brief. The upward march has been consistent, steady, and volatile. What should be increasing is actually decreasing. I see the price action very much on the increase until 62 is reached. Yeah, that's about close to my CPI adjusted level that I'm thinking of, 72. And at that point, a $5 pullback is likely. Oh, good. Yeah, I like people that really kind of give you some, meaty little, hey, this is going to happen soon thoughts and opinions. And thank you. Actually, I've seen you. You posted here many times. Thanks. This will not change until silver is $66 range. Yeah, I can't argue with that at all. I mean, I'm reticent to give more short-term assessments, but thank you. That's really probably true. Be well, man. You're my best be weller. Thanks for watching and posting there. My best be weller for sure. Thank you. Appreciate that, Philip, as well. Thank you for being a listener. Wilfred Bacquez, great video. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you so much. Kevin Lass, thanks for the video. From when Americans realize they don't want to hold paper any longer and rotate out of 401ks. Yeah, good, very good assessment. And that's what we talked about in this particular video. And if you didn't watch it, watch this video, folks. And I got 800 of them, so don't go too crazy. Don't go on a Brian binge. Be hard for you to do. I know. After you're done with me after 10 minutes, I know. JM Bullion did not go down. I was online, constantly checking spot. I think they did have a minor here. Let me see if I replied. They were down at 4 p.m. according to sources, but it may have been from overloaded and/or maintenance issues. I said that in the video here. You are correct somewhat, but they did indeed go down. But might have been I didn't follow up, and all I heard is it went down, and not for the reasons why. And understand that. It's not hard to believe because a lot of sites went down over the weekend, that weren't selling. Okay, we're closed, we're done, we're not selling right now, we have technical issues, blah, blah, blah. A little coincidental to happen like we saw it. Okay, and dealers in Florida are stalls. You don't have enough info for premiums. Same thing as you're saying, if it takes 6 weeks to deliver and then we're already at default. Yeah, Russell, that's true. Extreme Pacifist says, look at the future floor. Don't worry about the dip. The new floor is 50. Silver is still on sale. Keep calm and keep stacking. Peace out. Peace to you, Extreme. Mark Palpin, Brian is my go. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. I appreciate that. Again, really appreciate all of you folks. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button here to my videos, commercial rare coins and precious metals. There's the big thumbs up. And again, hopefully, when I put a new video out, YouTube will alert you and not take you off my one. A lot of guys get taken off my. I don't know what it is. The algorithms are kind of weird. All right, that's it, folks. As I say, think for yourself, question authority always, and not just question authority, question experts. Because if experts don't get questioned, nothing is learned. Or things are assumed for and experts can be wrong as well. So think for yourself. Question authority and question experts, even guys like me, That's it, folks. You have yourself a wonderful day. And again, if you're looking to buy gold, silver, and platinum, you live in South Florida, we're the place to come to. We'll meet or beat almost any offers out there to buy or sell. And also, we'll beat Atmex, JM, SD if you're looking for good products and you live in South Florida. You don't need to order from them and wait for it to come through the mail and worry about your guy leaving it on your porch. You can come right to us, and it's pretty easy and simple. And if you don't live in Florida and you want to buy large amounts of gold and silver, we can do that. The old traditional method through wires, but we were limited to how much that we can do. We have to do larger deals. On smaller deals, if I can't do business with directly with you, again, even on larger deals, find a good local place and try to keep it local. Keep your money local. I always said that, and I'm going to continue to start saying that again. Keep your money local the best you can. And that's it, folks. I hope you have a wonderful day, and let's see what markets open up to Sunday night. Tonight, I think they're going to be up, and I think tomorrow's going to be up. And if they're not, you can all give me a big boo tomorrow in my comments. Don't trade on my advice or suggestions or my opinions, folks, by the way. It's an expert opinion, but it's just that. It's just an opinion. And don't forget my comment here. That's it. Talk to you later.